All right, hey guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. So we have the final result on Shanti's Bronco here. Let's show you what we did. All right, so in the back here, we fit all the gear behind the panel. So we have two amplifiers stacked on top of each other, an 8-channel and a mono block. And then we have the sub, we have the 10-inch Truly sub that all lives behind the stock panel. It's a ton of gear living in this small space. We also swapped out the grill, which allows much more air through, so it allows more of the bass to enter into the cabin. We added these rear Vex pods for the tailgate feature. So they're mounted to this bar along with the LED light bar. So they have an RGB controller, and if you're tailgating, you can turn on just the speakers and the sub. Or you can run the entire system and the tailgate bar. We also added this LED light bar, so when he's tailgating, he can turn that on and kind of illuminate behind him. So if they're tailgating, cooking out, whatever, they can see what's going on. And so in order to get these rear pods to fit with this rear bar for the Vex and the LED bar, we had to modify the rear pods. We have video of that. That was in order to clear this bracket. That bracket is not there obviously in a normal without this light bar. So we had to modify it for that to fit on both sides. All right, and up here we have the RGB controller. So this is the JL Audio RGB controller. What's really nice is that it shows you what's going on. So there's an LED in the center of it. So when you press it, you can switch the colors and adjust the brightness, adjust the patterns, all from the front. And it shows you what the cans are doing in the rear. Because obviously from the front, you can't see the cans. But from the knob, you know exactly what they're doing. So you can change the color, the pattern, the intensity. So this is the DRC. This controls the amplifier. So we have multiple tunes on it. We have a tune just for the tailgating feature. So it turns on the cans and the sub. So this way he can just play music out the back. We have another tune which controls the inside speakers. We have a tune that controls the inside speakers and the cans. And then we have another tune that just runs volume for the sub. So basically from the one controller, he can control the entire system. So it makes it super easy, and it looks as if it came with the car. So also, after putting all this gear and doing all these custom modifications to the vehicle, adding all these accessories, I mean, just, you know, all the trim, everything, the client wants to keep the car. So we added an IGLA system in it. So that is a, Pincode system that doesn't allow the vehicle to start with the factory key with a relay attack. We have tons of video on this. If you want to, you can search on our YouTube channel, but basically it stops the car from being able to start unless you input a certain code that the client puts in and can change whenever he wants. You can press the button, nothing will happen. Once you put the code in, the car will start right up. All right, so as you can see, other than this light bar and the rear cans, the car is 100% stock. The client really wanted to save all the trunk space. He does, he's got these washout floors, and he didn't want anything on the floor in the trunk area under the seats. He goes camping, he does a lot of, shows, and he uses up all the trunk space in the vehicle. I mean, believe me, I tried to get him to do a tailgate enclosure or an enclosure that fit in the back here, down firing, but he was not having it. He wanted it to look completely stock and take up absolutely no space. So that's a challenge, all right? So it's a huge challenge to have this much gear inside of this vehicle. Now, we like kind of when clients challenge us because it forces us to do things that technically are not possible, but it forces us to level up our game. Between all of us, with Hondo, Robert, Dama, everybody, we thought about it and figured out a way to make all this happen. So it's definitely a team effort. The other thing that we did was use this Truly sub. So without this Truly sub, technically this is impossible. because physically, no matter what we did, physically we could not fit the woofer without modifying something. But with the Truly woofer, it allowed us to fit it in that space and make it sound, have the amount of output that we're getting out of that space without making any physical modifications.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.